Hey YouTube, you may have recently seen Charlie Mack's video. He's going to be doing this bookend build, so to speak. It's technically not a model, but it looks really cool. And, based on that kind of inspired me to take another look at these. A neighbor about 5 years ago now was moving, and he said, hey, I know you build models, maybe you want these. And so I took them and I threw them up on the shelf. I'm going to pop a video in here. They actually sell these at hobby stores and Ace Hardware, which you may know now that, that's kind of my hobby shop. I just noticed they added these Metal Earth models to my Ace Hardware. So there's a TARDIS, if you're into Doctor Who. And I didn't know they had some of these subjects. So an Osprey and a Blackhawk and the Merrimack and Monitor. It's kind of cool. I might, and a Missouri and a P-51 Mustang. So I might do one of these sometime, we'll see. So inspired by Charlie Mack, I thought, you know what? I'm in between builds. I just finished the Wildcat, which you can see there is now with the rest of my World War II fighters. And I'm about to start, I'm waiting for September 1st to start the Deformed group build. And I don't want to start the C1A Trader yet. I'm going to do something special with that, kind of a collaboration with a special vendor. So I'm kind of in between builds, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give one of these a try. Technically, it's not a model, but technically it is. So today's Sunday. It's Sunday morning, August 28th, and I'm going to see if I can knock one of these out. I think I'm going to do the tank and see how that goes. So, maybe you guys will find this interesting. So we'll start with opening this up. Instructions. These parts. Ooh. So that's the barrel. Well, that's kind of cool. And then these are this is like photo etch almost, but thicker. But I'm guessing it's probably the same process to make these. Hope this isn't too reflective. No, it's not bad. And then here's the instructions. Yeah, Metal Earth 3D laser cut. So yeah, it's laser cut, where I think photo etch is more of a chemical bath type of process. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'll cut them as I go along rather than, kind of when I build a model, I kind of cut everything off the sprue and put them in a box. I don't want to get anything confused, so I'm going to maybe cut these as I go. So assembly flow chart. So yeah, I think I'm just going to follow through. So that cuts out of there. You can use a knife, but you got to press really hard. This is much thicker than photo etch. And now I'm going to use the hold and fold. So all 4 of these tabs, there's one on each side, have to be folded down to go into the holes in here. So I will use hold and fold to do that. So I used the hold and fold to fold this, but as time went on, I just ended up using a thicker, stronger, flatter set of tweezers, similar to what I'm doing here, but with an even bigger pair. Okay, and then you kind of round those edges, so to speak, like that. Round the corners over, like that. So there's 4 holes, and then these tabs go into those 4 holes. Boy, this is tough to hold. Let's see if I can get that. Okay, there's one. Yeah, not easy. If you hate photo etch, you're probably going to hate this. Okay, it's as frustrating as a model. So it's similar in that way. And now this thing is magnetizing. Look at that. Oh boy. Ha! Okay, not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, at this pace, I don't think I'll get it done today. There we go. Yay. All right, so now that I have it in there, I assume you bend it over from the bottom. So basically what you're doing is shaping the parts and then sticking the tabs through the holes and then bending those tabs over to hold it in place. Okay, first piece in. Okay, just looking at the timer on the camera, that took 15 minutes to get that in there. Ah, geez. Maybe I won't finish this today. And then on this one, you see it's like a cylinder. So you fold that down and then wrap those sides around there. So I'm wrapping these sides around the circle on the top. All right, I think I'm getting the hang of this. And I'm going to mark these off as I do them. So you have to kind of wrap this around. Might be helpful to kind of wrap it around a paintbrush end. I use this technique on photo etch. So in a lot of these pieces, what you're doing is either, shaping it, making a cylinder, what have you, and then laying the other piece on there and getting the tabs to go up and through, and then folding those tabs over. And then you take this piece, put it on the next piece, and fold the tabs over, and just continue that process over and over again. All right, got the first assembly done here. This is the top. Flip that over and do the bottom of that turret. So again, it's basically, cutting out the pieces and shaping them, and then trying to get those tabs to go down into the next piece. Shape it, get it in place, then get the tabs to go in there, shape it some more without it coming out of there, and then finally fold down each of those tabs. And then the next piece, do the same thing, and so on, all the way on down the line. All right, so next it looks like is the barrel assembly. And what I'm doing here is making that outer box, folding the corners again, and then putting the barrel through. And then I shaped the secondary box, so to speak, and then attached the box with the barrel on it to that piece, and then attach that to the front of the turret and fold those tabs down. Okay, so that goes down, and then this actually folds out. Yeah, so down and then out. And on these bigger pieces, you can actually fold with your hand because those parts are perforated. And then here I cut out all the little parts that go onto the body, like those cables and whatnot, and then shape those one by one and put those onto the body. And then those cables are kind of the same situation. They have a little box in the center, so you fold those sides of the box down and then put the tabs through the holes in the body and then fold those under. And then again, the same thing with the turret, which was already made. Any final adjustments on that, then put it in, and again, fold those tabs down from underneath. And you got to fold them pretty tight to make sure everything stays. All right, so that completes this one. Now down to this one. So next I made those round structures on the back. I'm not exactly sure what they're called. I'm not an armor guy, but same approach. Put that piece on top and then put the piece in from the side and then bent it down. And then on the outside of that, bent those shells, so to speak, with the paintbrush again, and put one of those on each side. This, that, all these cylinders that go on here. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I've got 8 of these and 8 of these, so I'll put those together now. Okay, got 8 of those now. So those go into these. 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. All right, now the next set that goes on the outside of that. So that is those inner ones. So now I got to do these outer ones. All right, I couldn't get the tabs to go down in there, so I just wrapped them around. All right, so those are the inner ones. Now all these outer ones. So again, took the same approach and wrapped all those around the paint stick to get cylinders, and then put the tops on, and then put those on, one side tab each into the 2 cylinders or wheels below it. All right, that one's done. Now this one. This was the most difficult part of all. So those tracks, there's a long bottom and then a shorter top. And you have to mold those to get them to go around, and then get the 2 pieces to fit together. And it was a challenge, but I finally got it, and then kind of used the first one as a guide to get the second one. And then you have to be careful when you turn it over that they don't fall off while you're going to bend it down. Okay, I believe there's only 2 pieces left, this one and this one. And then before you can put the bottom on, so to speak, you have to put each track wheel set on each side, and then leaving that space in between, you then fill that space with the 2 bottom parts. The front gets folded, and then the second part attaches to that. All right, I think that's it. So there it is on the turntable. These little kits are pretty challenging. You gotta really take your time and get everything to line up. But at the end, it builds a pretty cool little kit. And it's fairly straightforward and easy to do. Unlike a normal model, you don't have to wait for paint to dry or glue to dry or whatever. You just work your way right straight through. I think I started at like 11 a.m. and I, with a couple of breaks in there, I think I finished up around 6:30. So, it comes out nice. And for my first piece of armor, so to speak, I'm pretty happy with it. So let me read a little bit about the history of the Tiger I tank. This German tank was the most powerful tank in the world when it was introduced in August 1942. The 88mm gun was extremely powerful, and the heavy armor made it almost impervious to attack. The success of the Tiger was so profound that no Allied tank dared to engage it in open combat. The psychological fear soon became known as Tiger phobia. And as I was reading that, I was reminded of the movie Kelly's Heroes, if you've ever seen that, with Clint Eastwood and Telly Savalas and Donald Sutherland. And Donald Sutherland is a tank driver, and I remember him saying, he's like, there's no way I'm going up against a Tiger. And so that was actually the tank that blew the hole or blew the door out of the bank that they rob in that movie. So there you go. There's my first piece of armor, albeit a Metal Earth model and rather than a plastic model. But I will get to some plastic armor soon, I promise. I think I have a few up on the shelf. As a matter of fact, I know I have a Vietnam era M109 like mobile howitzer. So I will eventually get to that. So there it is on the shelf, and I have to say it was a cool and fun little diversion, and I really enjoyed it. So I hope you guys found it interesting, and maybe you'll look into these Metal Earth models. So as always, thanks for watching, and happy modeling.